Luke Skywalker is arguably the best character in the Star Wars franchise.
What?
Okay, maybe Anakin is just a little bit better, but we all do still love Luke, even if the sequels kind of messed up his character. Anyways, today let's take a look at 10 facts you may or may not know about the character. Number 10. Luke was originally supposed to turn to the dark side. When creating Return of the Jedi, George Lucas and Lawrence Kasdan actually thought about the idea of making Return of the Jedi much darker than the previous two films. They originally thought about having Luke kill Darth Vader and the Emperor, but then take their spots, proclaiming that he will rule the galaxy.
I am more powerful than the Chancellor. I can overthrow him. And together, you and I can rule the galaxy. Make things the way we want them to be.
The film would end with Luke putting on Vader's helmet, a sign that history will be repeating itself in the Skywalker family. But in the end, Lucas decided that this ending would be too dark in a movie series for kids, leading him to change it to the Return of the Jedi we know and love today.
It's a film for 12-year-olds.
Number 9. Mark Hamill's car accident changed The Empire Strikes Back. In 1977, just after finishing filming for A New Hope and before the filming of Empire Strikes Back, Mark Hamill got into a car accident, which left him with very serious facial injuries. In fact, Mark Hamill didn't think he'd ever be able to act ever again. Due to his facial scars, the Hoth Wampa attack was actually written at the last minute for Empire. They had the Wampa slash Luke's face with his claws in order to explain the scars on Luke's face.
Hey girl, hey, what's the matter? You smell something?
Number 8. Luke's last name was originally Starkiller. Though this is a fact that is a lot more well known now, in the very early drafts of Star Wars, Luke's original last name was Starkiller instead of Skywalker. The reason Lucas later changed it was because the name sounded too evil and made Luke seem more like the villain instead of the hero. However, the name was later reused for Galen Merrick's clone in the Force Unleashed video game. Number 7. Mark Hamill did a lot of his own stunts in Star Wars. Mark Hamill was basically like Tom Cruise when filming for Star Wars. However, for Return of the Jedi, there were two stunts that Hamill was not allowed to do at all. The first one comes from the Sarlacc pit scene. Because the height from the plank to the sand was so high, Hamill wasn't even allowed to stand on the plank, let alone do the actual jump. All the scenes that had him on the plank were filmed in a different area, much closer to the ground. The second stunt he wasn't allowed to do goes all the way to his fight with Vader in the throne room. This is when Luke is on some sort of high structure, and when Vader throws his lightsaber, bringing the structure down. Due to the height again, Hamill wasn't allowed to do the fall from the structure. Other than these two though, Hamill did all of his stunts, even the lightsaber fights, which is really awesome. Number 6. Luke's green lightsaber was a last minute change. Though Luke lost Anakin's lightsaber and his hand in Empire Strikes Back, his new lightsaber was still going to be blue in Return of the Jedi. However, after seeing that the blue didn't look good with the blue sky of Tatooine, they changed it to a green color. Not only did it make it much easier to see, but it introduced more lightsaber colors other than blue and red, eventually leading to Mace Windu's purple lightsaber.
Good guys are green and blue, bad guys are red. That's just the way it works.
No purple left?
You might get purple.
Number 5. Luke was going to be very different in Episode 9. Before J.J. Abrams' return and later created The Rise of Skywalker, Colin Trevorrow was set to direct the film, which he called Duel of the Fates. Though Trevorrow's version of the film never saw the light of day, we did get to see an early version of a script for it. In it, the Force ghost of Luke Skywalker was actually going to haunt Kylo Ren, tormenting him to turn back to the light. This seemed to be a very aggressive and different version of Luke, so I'm glad JJ decided to take it out. At least he had this scene, which was super cool. Number 4. Luke can use Sith abilities without being on the dark side. In the beginning of Return of the Jedi, Luke uses the Force Choke ability on Jabba's Gamorrean guards, a technique that is mostly used by dark side users, especially Darth Vader.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Luke is one of the only Jedi to use the ability, foreshadowing his battle between the light and dark throughout the film. Number 3. Luke originally had a very different ending in The Last Jedi. The ending of The Last Jedi we all know and don't really love, had Luke dying with the twin suns after tricking Kylo Ren with his Force projection. However, in an earlier version of the script, Rian Johnson had Luke surviving the Force projection. Luke would then finally leave Ahch-To, searching for ancient Jedi texts to help the Resistance defeat Kylo Ren and the First Order. This was meant to set up a whole new side story for him in Episode 9, making him a much more major character. But in the end, Johnson decided to have Luke be killed off in The Last Jedi, just like Obi-Wan Kenobi was. Number 2, Luke wasn't the original protagonist of Star Wars. When creating the original Star Wars, George Lucas went through multiple different ideas for who the main character would be in the film. Originally, he had it be a legendary and old Jedi Master, which later turned into the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi. There was even a time when Luke was supposed to be a female, but that character kinda turned into Princess Leia. In the end, Lucas decided on the character we know and love today, but it's crazy to think about the different possibilities that could have been. Number 1, Luke and Leia were never meant to be siblings. Yes, that's right, when Lucas was creating A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, there was never any mention or plan of the two being related. This is why at first there was romantic tension between the two, especially when they shared a kiss in Empire Strikes Back, which is now pretty awkward.
He's my brother.
In the end though, Lucas decided to introduce them as siblings in Return of the Jedi, which makes lots of sense, especially since Leia is Force sensitive. Well everyone, thank you so much for watching our top 10 video on some unknown facts about Luke Skywalker. In the comments, let us know which one is your favorite and if you want to see a top 10 facts list for any other movie or TV show characters. Other than that, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.